What's up, you guys? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Give me a napkin, mom. I'm riding down to San Antonio. You guys know how these videos go. Camera's a little clear, clip fuzzy, so I'm gonna clean it off here in a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna get it clean for y'all. Listen, come in here, drop your city and state. You guys know how to do. Listen, I have to talk to you guys about taking massive action. Thank you already for the likes. I appreciate it. Now, I was in a group call this morning, and then in the group call, and you guys guys let me know if you can hear me. Just let me know, the first person that can, that if you can hear me, and drop your city and state. I appreciate that. So before we get ready to get started the show today, off the rip, we're going to be at Atlanta Mastermind. It's going to be an amazing location, September 28th and 29th. If you're not there, you're missing out. All right, the next one is October 5th. Okay, y'all can hear me. Thank you so much. October 5th, I'll be in Denver, Colorado. It's going to be another great location. Going to be really good. One-day workshop. A lot of y'all already bought tickets. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the channel. October 12th, we will be in Dallas with your girl Terry. Now, this is a double hitter. Y'all really gonna want to be here for this. We're talking about scaling your portfolio, and that's talking about in stocks. And so if you want the stock tips and the gems, you better be there. And then you're gonna have me finishing out the show on scaling your business. The point of this event is, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna take a really nice, cool sabbatical break next year. But as I promised, I was gonna do a mini world tour. So we're gonna do it. So again, California folks will have your dates for November coming up. For folks in Las Vegas, I'll try to get your dates up pretty soon here. Detroit and Ohio, you know your dates are going to be back to back because the cities are so close. So just keep in mind of that. Now, I'm trying to figure out, can we make it to Philly or New Jersey? But we're going to figure it out. Philly or New Jersey is going to get the dates. But yeah, you guys, it's going to be really great. Anytime anybody is concerned, I definitely want you to do what? Log off. Completely log off. It's on a headset. We're not touching it. Thanks for your concern. So anyways, massive action. Now, what I was going to talk about this. Several people have kind of complained that someone else took their ideal. Man, this person took my ideal. This other person took my ideal. And to me, that's just, funny, right? Because we can sit up all night long and watch a lot of these infomercials go, man, I had that ideal. Like, I thought of that. But it's whoever takes action wins. Now, prime example of this is a great, I got a couple different examples, but the first example is the real Max Maxwell. Real Max Maxwell was like calling himself a guru, but he would always preface and say, but I'm not the original. The original guru is, oh boy, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, right? And people were quick to catch him on it. Like, hey, you're not the guru. You're not the real estate guru. Somebody already said that 5 years ago. How dare you? You're not the real estate guru. So, but who had the bigger attention? It's not he who uses it first. It's he who gets more attention. And Max had bigger attention at the time. And this goes for a lot of ideals. When I see t-shirts, when I see catchphrases, some of y'all watch these videos and then y'all make whole t-shirts out of it, and I love it. At least you're taking action, and I don't complain and I don't care. The thing of it is taking action allows you to know which way to turn, left or right. Now, what does that mean? If you're taking action and you realize I need more money, I need more funds, then you can make an assessment. Many of you, I saw in Glennon's live and I saw in another person's live, oh man, I've got this LLC for 2-3 years, but I haven't done anything with it, but I'm scared to pay taxes. Well, you're not doing anything with it. You can't pay taxes on something you ain't earned. You ain't put no money to it. And so you took a half step, but not the massive action you need to make more money. How do you make more money? You make more money by actually deciding what generates income for you. Whatever generates income for you, you should be directing it towards your business. So there's one customer we have, he was doing mobile detailing, but he was just putting the money in his personal account. And I was like, well, you should have been already putting that money only in your business account to provide a track record of service. A lot of people are upset that they're not getting the funding they need. And one, get the funding course off the website. For those of you who've got it, they've been saying nothing but awesome positive reviews in the comments. In order to get your business moving, yes, you need marketing funds. Yes, you need funds of operation, but you need funding. And I was just in a Facebook group earlier, and someone straight up said that, hey, this dealership wanted 25% down. That's crazy. And I go, that's standard. If you're a person buying a truck, you don't have a CDL, you don't have any information that you have knowledge of this industry, why would they give you money in an industry where you have no knowledge? And if you know that's the cost, then you should be already stacking money to prevent what? From getting stopped, right? So now that you know that's the cost, you got to pay it. Same thing out here when I see people coming up with these cups and mugs and t-shirt ideals. If you're willing to pay the cost to market it and get it out there, then you win. And the other person can't really complain about it. I see it. Oh, that's the back window. So I'm out here, and of course, it's getting ready to rain. I turned it on. You guys put a yes in the comments if you can hear me. Some people are saying they can't hear me. If they can't hear me, I'm probably going to have to kick the live off till later. All right. Thank you for that. But anyway, so it's raining here. But the key of it is allowing me to take massive action has allowed so many doors to open this year, as far as funding, financing, working with companies. And the key problem about that is some people are just shocked. You know, when I talk to banks, when I talk to different bankers, they're just shocked. Even my accounting company is shocked, like, because there's no limit. The limit is in your head. The limit is where you're deciding, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to grow too fast. But everyone knows the true cost of things is your new life will cost you your old life. And that can be taken many ways. That can be your old life of taking naps all every afternoon, the old life of taking happy hours all the time. There's several people, and I think I told you guys about this. No Money Steve, you can go check him out on Instagram. He went and saw his mother in the hospital. She had hyperthyroidism. His dad was diabetic. His older brother was diabetic. And he was 300 pounds. And he said, you know what? I'm looking at my future in a hospital right now. I don't want to die. So he literally got up and bought, Insanity, which I don't know if you guys know P90X or any of that stuff. Started doing Insanity. And then he lost 30 pounds. People were like, okay, I see you. Then he started changing his diet, lost 30 more pounds. So he's sitting here, he ended up losing about 70 pounds. And people were like, oh, look at you, new Steve, new body, new you. And they were joking him in college about it. Now, most people gain weight in college. Oh boy, lost weight in college. And at that moment, he realized his new life, his new eating habits. He wasn't drinking. He was not drinking. I can't remember all the stuff he said. I think he wasn't drinking beer. He quit drinking milk. At one point, he stopped eating oxtails because his family was Jamaican. He quit eating oxtails. He quit eating a lot of the meats they ate because he noticed, he's like, my health is more important than oxtails. So a lot of times, thank you moderators for getting people out of here. You have to determine what is your life worth, and is your new life worth this old one? And a lot of people say there's the saying, the pain of change versus the pain of staying the same. When one hurts too bad, you'll let it go. And some of you just have to let it go. I get so many messages from you guys about being 30s and 40s and 50s and realizing it's time to start investing for your future. And it's better that you start now than try to start 10 years from now. It's better than you calling me at 52 and 62 and saying, hey, Eric, I want to start preparing for retirement in 2 or 3 years. You guys have to be careful about these deadlines you're putting on yourself to finish. But I want you guys to drop in here things that you guys want to take action on, whether it's starting a business, fixing your credit, whether you have some ideal for something, invention. Put it in the comments and share it with us, because a lot of people say, well, I can't share my ideals, Erica, because somebody else might take it. That sounds like you don't want to share your ideals because you know you will procrastinate and you won't get it done. And that's the worst, because you can't grow your community, your new business community, your new community of people to work with if you don't even share your ideals. You're sitting over there tinkering and we're like, well, what you working on? I can't tell you. It's secret. Well, what does that mean? Like, we can't partner together. We can't work together. We can't grow. And the sad part is a lot of people, think they're owed a permission, right? They need people to give them permission to start something. You don't need permission to start. You decide when your life is ready to change. Some of you say, well, Eric, I got to quit my job so I can start my business. Who told you that? No one told you that. And make sure Erica Williams is not on this channel telling people to quit their jobs. If anything, use your job to fund your business and get your funding. Again, if you're taking the funding course, I say use your business to make sure you get your foot in the door. I'm definitely going to start posting it next week when Kahari finishes the videos. You'll see where I started like literally 10 LLCs in the past month because I knew I needed to open new accounts. I need to get funding for different businesses and different ventures and different partnerships. And it's just a piece of paper. A lot of you are hesitating to take action, and you shouldn't. Because if you start sharing what you're trying to work on, there's probably someone out there, either if you're on the Facebook group with us, who can help partner. And for those of you in the Facebook group, there's several people who's already started companies together. If I'm not mistaken, Kamoy and another lady started a company together with tech writers. If I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4 people in the group put together and bought themselves a truck. I mean, it's the opportunities are endless for you if you're willing to take action. And I'm laughing about earlier today where somebody was complaining this guy is selling a t-shirt, that has someone else's saying on it. And I go, you know what he realizes he rather ask for forgiveness than permission, because he knows the permission would be denied. Permission would be denied. They'd be like, no, dude, you can't do that. Don't use that. And so what he's doing is taking a risk of just going to go ahead and do it. He's just going to go ahead and do it. And if they say no or they come back with something, you literally at this point would have to sue people. So there was a guy, and I recommend you guys go check out the channel just for reference. Max Chewing. He's out there in Houston with Christian Guzman, and it's that young fitness kind of generation of people, YouTubers recording, but now they're all starting to turn 30 and 26, and they're tired of doing YouTube. You can hear it in their voice. They're like, oh, I'm taking a break. I'm like, you have to take breaks. They're necessary for your life. But what ended up happening is he created a candy company. Now, many people would run around and ask permission for these banks and these different restaurants and these different grocery stores that could you, put my candy in your stores kind of thing. This guy literally ordered a massive order of straight from production candy and sold out in 55 minutes. Why is that? Because he's using this big marketing arm called YouTube. I don't know what this person wants to do, but I think there's somebody in front of them. He's using this big marketing arm called YouTube. And this marketing arm will allow him the opportunity to sell out in 55 minutes. They keep creating these clothing lines where they sell out in an hour. They sell out. And the thing of it is getting attention to your business so that you can have options. So those kids are making money off YouTube. They're getting a lot of views. But guess what? They are smart enough to know they don't want to do this forever. And they want to have options. And the only way you can get options is if you're putting your business in front of enough people to get a yes or a no. And once you get a yes or no, then you can move from there. If you realize, okay, this is a valuable business, now I need more yeses, or now I need more funding. But if you never take any action, you don't share what you're working on, you don't partner with anybody, you don't go to any conferences, you don't go to any seminars, there's no one in your network to bounce it off of, you start becoming like Uncle Jerome that I keep making fun of in the video show. You don't want to be Uncle Jerome. The guy who's the know-it-all in the family, but he still lives with grandma. He's like 57 years old. He knows everything. He's telling you how to start a business, but he still lives with grandma. He's doing all these things, trying to tell you you don't know how to do stuff. Well, you know what? If I was married, I'd do this. But Uncle Jerome ain't married. You don't want to be that person. You want to be a person who's at least taken action and failed, because it's better to have failed from trying than not at all. There's no honor in like, well, I've got this idea and I'm sitting over here and I'm holding it. I'm holding it for some magical day that will never come, because you're not taking any action. And I know you go, well, how is conferences and seminars taking action, Erica? It is because you're actually connecting with people who can actually do something to make that dream come true, to make that opportunity actually a real thing. And if you guys could just see and understand that people starting businesses are like the 10% of society. When I say starting business, I mean not just starting it and just saying on Facebook they're an entrepreneur, just saying they got a business, but actually taking steps and creating a business. I told you guys, when I started that painting company, I was only the one of 2 black people in all of Austin who'd actually gone on the city website and filled out for a black-owned business in painting, and could have got tons of contracts, but my business partner decided he didn't want to work like that. And that's what happens, right? That in a city full of black people, whether they say it or not, there's a ton of black people who do construction. There's a ton of black people here who do painting and all that good stuff. But none of them wanted to take the next step, which was just filling out to work with the city. That's what happens, right? I see you been the bartender. You're cracking me up. But I'm focusing on the road today. My assistant over here to my right can read some of these comments to me in a second. Yeah, if it wasn't raining, I'd pull over or do something, but I literally have to focus. We have to get there. But that's the thing. It's like, even Nick Bear had started an adventure company, like just started out the blue, sold out all the t-shirts, sold out all the mugs, then got a letter saying, hey, your design is a little bit close to ours. We're going to send a cease and desist letter. And so you know what he did? He said, man, I got so many other things I'm working. Fine, peace out. Take it and go, right? But he would have not even made that big lump sum of money and known he was making such an impact in the marketplace till that happened. So when you see these guys on YouTube selling other things, that is their escape plan to do something else, because they clearly are business minded enough to figure out how to do YouTube, how to market, how to analyze, so they can take that mind and do anything. A lot of these guys that call themselves hustlers, they're really just salesmen. If they just changed their career path, they'd be salesmen. You know, Uncle Jerome is a character that's in everybody's lives. We can call it Aunt Janice, Uncle Jerome, whoever. They're always that person that is a naysayer when you start with something, but eventually will be that person that be like, oh, I always knew you was going to do well. I always knew you was going to do it, even though they didn't, right? Because now the tide is turning, they have to flow with it. It's a prime example, what Jay-Z's uncle told him, you'll never sell 1 million records. That's crazy. It wasn't that he didn't think Jay-Z couldn't do it. He thought he's applying his limitations of his life on his nephew, which is sad, but that happens all the time. I remember saying one time that I don't think my nephew was going to make it to the Olympics. And my friend looked over at me and said, who are you to say? And I said, you know what? You're right. I'm being an Uncle Jerome right now. He may make it. He may be fast enough. That is possible. Any of those opportunities are possible if he applies himself. But you have to catch yourself on being a naysayer in someone's dream. Are you giving helpful criticism, or are you actually just, being an Uncle Jerome? You have to really check yourself. You guys were in that thick of that Austin traffic here. If you guys want to take a peek, here you go. You can see it. Money. That's some more money. Ching, ching, ching. Every time I see a truck. Whenever people say, oh, truckers don't make no money, there's no money in trucking, I'm like, every time I drive by one, trucking, money, ching, ching, ching. And also what was interesting when I was at FitCon this past weekend, I realized the next day, the event I was at, they were going to have an event called Military Influencer Conference. And I literally am going to the Military Influence Conference next year. It'll be in San Antonio. Essentially, this is a great opportunity for you to connect with all the companies that want to work with the military, whether it's real estate, whether it's advertising. A lot of times people don't realize there's so much money being made around the military, but they should also be included in that discussion. So USAA is the big sponsor for it. So they're bringing it to San Antonio because that's USAA headquarters. But that's the prime thing of, like, if you leave the military, you can take massive action and be one of those guys on the stage, because a lot of those guys just did what? They started Instagram channels. They started a few speaking gigs. It all depends on where you're starting from, if you want to take more action in it. Oh, is it buffering, CJ? Thank you, CJ, for letting us know. Everybody, can you let me know with a yes if it's still working? If it's still going, give me a good old yes. Good old Texas yes in the comments. That would be helpful. Okay, so saying it's still working. Let me know. Huh? I know, because Miss Nate would be making hands in the back. So anyways, you guys, listen. I'm hoping a lot of you will start working on your goals this week. If you're struggling with funding, go grab the funding course. If you're struggling with ways to get people in on your projects in a safe and sound way, you should totally grab the Create Your Own Investment Group course. It's a great course on not only partnerships, but also group working together. You have to show people a track record and results. So I'd rather some of you take action and get, and get that kind of experience. What's up, Andre Hatchett? What's good? Andre Hatchett is the man in Atlanta. Andre, today we were talking about taking massive action and talking about your goals, and sometimes having to ask for forgiveness instead of permission, because if you ask for permission, which you really don't need it from anybody, that's what slows you down in starting a business and also just growing yourself as a person. Anyways, you guys, listen. I'm going to cut this one short. We got a long way to drive. I'll give you guys some clips on Instagram later. That's right. Start as you go. You got to start and get fancy later. And that's the problem. A lot of you are starting, or you're thinking about it, or you're sitting on it. Oh, thank you. Oh. And what ends up happening is you never start. You're trying to make it perfect. There is no perfect. The only way you can figure out if it's perfect is if you start and then you realize you have to make an adjustment. When it comes to real estate, again, we've been talking about the past week on Instagram a lot, where people were complaining about these $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 guru courses. And I was telling you, people are so hungry to start, but they're still looking for permission to start. They're looking for someone to wave a magic wand and saying, you're good enough to start now. You're good enough to do it now. And we have a friend here in Austin, Texas, who, as he was getting out of the military, he spent $50,000 to learn how to wholesale. He literally borrowed half the money from his parents, and he took the money from his veteran disability check that came, lump sum check that came. And he was really stressed, and he was making phone calls every day. He was knocking doors. He was paying a guy to knock doors for him. And he really ended up making something big out of it. He ended up having 4 houses at one time that he was doing construction on. And once he sold all 4 at the same time, he had $1.3 million in cash. But then he let us know, he was like, I was pressing so hard because I had borrowed $20K from my parents, and I took my money, and this is all the money I had. And I had to make it work. Now, first of all, we got on him for spending $50K on a freaking course that he could have paid cousin Nita $1,000 to learn, or paid, $500 to somebody else to learn. Now, many of you say, well, he could have just watched YouTube videos. Yes, but sometimes people are looking for what? Permission. They want someone to wave a wand and say, you just do it like this, and now you've got it. And I've always did the thing of like, I'm going to learn, I'm going to start and bump my head. You know, I guess I'm that kid that touches the hot stove, but I'd rather keep doing that and growing than sitting on the sideline, wishing, hoping, praying someone will notice me and my hard work. And I remember, this is when I knew I had to leave corporate America. My mother wants to drive from the passenger seat, y'all. Hold on a second. I knew when I would not want to apply to any more corporate America here in Austin. I knew it was because I could not wait for someone to give me permission. I couldn't wait for someone to tell me that I was good enough to get a raise. That thing drove me crazy in my mind. I go, I know I'm good enough for a raise. I don't need someone to question the quality of my work. And that's when I knew I just could not go back to another job. Business is selling, nothing more, nothing less. That's right. Well, business is also marketing. You're providing a service. Many people think it's just selling, but you're providing a service. Yes, courses do reduce time, but you got to make sure they're priced right for your budget. If all you got in the bank is $60K, you cannot give someone $50K, right? Unless you're just like, Eric, I'm gonna double my money, and then that is speculative. That is almost gambling. Marketing and selling. At the end of the day, providing a service is what business is. You're providing a service to others, and yes, you have to market so people can get to know who you are. Anyways, all right, you guys, I'll definitely show you pictures from the trucks when we get there, video on Instagram, maybe do drop one of Kahari videos later today. Thank you for participating on the channel. Thank you for participating in the comments. Again, make sure you're dropping your cities and states so I can go back and review these later and see where we need to make our next shows. So again, you check us out in Atlanta, September 28th and 29th. If you want the special discount, you're going to have to message me either on here, or you're going to have to message me on Instagram and say, hey, Erica, I want the special discount. I gave it to 4 people, so I'm going to give it to 4 more, I think. 4 more. And that way we can get people some, get them in there, a little bit of discount, and it'll be awesome. Then also October 5th, we'll be in Denver, Colorado. Okay. 1-day show there. Then also we're going to be Dallas, October 12th with me and Terry. It's great to check it out. Thank you for dropping cities and states. Seattle, Iowa. I see you guys. I appreciate it. Ohio, thank you so much. I'll be to Ohio sometime in the fall. I want to go up there when the leaves are changing. So everybody, this is your girl Erica, Classic Climb Blog. Thank you for supporting the channel so much. Appreciate it. Bye.